So may I start? May I begin?
Yes, sir, you can start.
Yeah. So previously we were on the slide that smart agriculture. I have given the portrait, the what are there in the context. So Alfred Dickens in 1890 has commented that it is not the quantity of water applied to a crop, it is the quantity of intelligence applied which determines the result. There is more due to intelligence than water in every case. This is a very tricky line and tricky comment, and in later slides we will check this comment and what are the meanings to it. Next slide. So this is the introduction part, because
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
I want to instruct our team. Please do it in full screen mode if it can possible.
yeah, this will be on.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay, sir. You carry on, sir. You carry on. We
Yeah.
will.
Uh,
Maybe sharing again, sir. Just wait.
okay. Yeah. So in this slide, because smart agriculture, and the topic is on the importance. How anything can be more important, because in importance and go in more important unless and until we should know the rational background and the reason for that kind of approach and that kind of technology. So smart agriculture is the need of the hour, and nowadays in very much developed countries they are using it, and in our India also most of the technologies are in under cultivation, under practice. But why there has been so need of the hour and requirement? Because we can see that the 2050 year, which country will be the more population, most populous, and still we are not able to cope up with the food production, horticulture production, food grain production to provide our compoundedly growing, exponentially growing population. Still, there are more populations or most number of peoples are sleeping. They have zero hunger. They are not able to have a diet. They are not able to have a food and go. They go foodless, or you can say that hungry nights. But our agriculture is very destined and promise and committed to provide food grains, horticulture, vegetable, fruit productions, and eagerly on the increasing the exponentially the production of produce to meet the population, those who are in the dirt. Next slide, please. So this is the second in where we can see that first of all we can go back, and when our country was got freedom, we were hand to mouth. So we required green revolution. In green revolution, our population was almost got sufficient self-sufficient food, but that self-sufficiency in the food grain production was not enough, because we have to go for the nutritional base. And when you go for the nutrition base, some technology required. So from green revolution we have to shift for technology revolution, and here you can see below smart agriculture what it covers. It can, if it is utilized in proper and better way, in a precise way, in correct way, then it can double the agriculture production by 2050. Wastage and losses can be reduced by 50%. It has been analyzed by the Food and Agriculture Organization. And lesser impact on environment. A lesser impact on environment, how it will be benefited and give less impact on environment in later slides we will see. But this is the rational Why it is important a smart agriculture? Green revolution, we have, it was the need of the hour, but blindly we have uh, disseminated an application of chemical fertilizers, and this made our soil degraded and not fit for cultivation. Fertility gradient has gone down, but nowadays people are regaining understanding this matter, and they are keen on back to grassroots levels to rejuvenate the soil's fertility gradient. Next slide, please. Now, the first two slides given the rationale, and the third, this slide gives the need. These are the reasons the smart agriculture approach is really needed and importance. Land degradation, you can see, depletion of water resources, water pollution from the factories also, but high application of chemical fertilizers, and then leaching out by water to the rivers, make it unfit for aquatic life, human consumption, and a very famous term is there, eutrophication. Eutrophication, you have heard. This is because of leaching out of chemicals by rainwater to the rivers, and it increases the aquatic weights, which consumes oxygens and affect the aquatic life. Then labor cost, it is the high time for the labor. Everywhere labor unavailability is there. Labor is not so cheap also. Then climate change. This time for climate change, you have seen that in our Bihar region, lychee production has gone down because temperature at the time of flowering, temperature was very high, and this is not under our control. So we have to take some approaches, steps in smart agriculture and adopt that technology to mitigate this. And when these conditions come together, definitely there will be a decline in productivity. That's why it is in the end I have put that, because these are the reasons. When these reasons come together in simultaneous manner, then definitely the productivity will be declined. So next slide, please. Now, concept of smart agriculture. Actually, agriculture is the amalgamation of precision agriculture, smart farming, and digital farming. And this is the high time, because you can see which comprises of real-time field mapping, real-time crop health monitoring, real-time livestock monitoring, real-time indoor farm monitoring, real-time fishery monitoring, Internet of Things enabled unmanned vehicles, robotics also, real-time monitoring of weather conditions, then real-time asset monitoring, connected and security and access control, real-time farm equipment monitoring. Data from satellites, drones, farm robots, and equipment sensors, etc., which has to be collected and stored. And when these raw data are analyzed, then it gives the result. What kind of result? Result is the site-specific smart seeding zoning, site-specific water stress condition, site-specific nutrient management. When these methods are done in a site-specific manner, in a precise manner, definitely productivity will go higher. And most of the terms are a little bit in digital, because real-time field mapping, here real-time field mapping is that you have to be aware of your field areas in real time. What kind of farm it is there any locust swarm is there? And real-time crop health monitoring, is that at the real time the pest disease infestation you should know. It should not be like that, that today disease infestation is in the one or two crops, one or two plants. Okay, I will go and spray day after tomorrow, it will be okay. Now 5 years back it was okay, field condition. Nowadays the infestation level is so rapid that it is like the greenhouse structure. in greenhouse, we have to be active. If it is seen in the morning at 8 o'clock, you have seen that any disease in leaf infestation is there. At that time only you have to apply precautionary measures, any kind of spray of fungicide, insecticide. Then only you will able to fetch good price, fetch good yield and productivity. Otherwise, at the end of by the evening, the crop will be damaged. 10% of the crop will be damaged. So this is the indoor farm monitoring. Indoor farm monitoring is this that greenhouse, and the livestock. Many farmers maintain livestock for milk and that gobar, that cow dung. It is also a very good kind of manure, and it is now in natural farming. Government has promoted so much in natural farming that cow dung can be a good market, because the base material for any natural farming input is the cow dung slurry, in which the insecticides, pesticides, and stimulators, nutrient stimulators, biofertilizers can be made on field, but the base material is to be cow dung. So this is also a very important thing. And in fishery monitoring, you can have that technology to see the what kind of fish are there, any diseases, infestation is there, any pest attack is there. So this is the amalgamation of these technologies, which includes precision agriculture, smart farming, and digital farming. And the basis of this is the collection of data and storage. And you can see that the connected security and access control. In later slides, this topic will be discussed. Next slide, please. So those were the rationale and the reasons for importance, why it is important smart agriculture. And what is smart agriculture practices? Because practices which we incorporate, that should be smart. Like it refers to all the practices used in smart agriculture, which may be tools, techniques, web applications, mobile apps, GIS, geographical information system, global positioning system, decision support system, expert system, implements, handling techniques, etc., which helps in increasing agriculture production, productivity, and optimum resource utilization and lesser impact on environment. The crux of 3 slides has been put there, and this is the smart agriculture, because we are using so much various tools and techniques and innovation apps, and which increases the productivity, agriculture production, and reduces the wastage of resources. Because our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, always see to increase double the income of farmers. It can only be doubled when the input cost can be reduced. And input cost can be reduced when the inputs can be used in a precise manner, site specific, crop specific. It has to be on target. Then only the cost of the input can be come down, and the output will be the crop yield which incurred. Next slide, please. There are top 10 technologies in smart agriculture, like satellite monitoring, mobile devices, autonomous robotics, smart micro irrigation, Internet of Things, soil plant sensors, smart zone seeding, weather modeling, fertilizer modeling, and intercompatibility and standardization. Next slide, please. This is the in this slide we have seen the global cultivation solutions. These are the smart agriculture approaches which gives the accelerating compound annual growth rate of nearly 12%, and there is a $658.48 million market rise from 2017 to 2022. And the year-over-year growth rate for 2018 is estimated 11.4%. And one of the key drivers for this market will be the global rise in the adoption of smart agriculture. Actually, this approach is mostly governed by the foreign countries, and the main stakeholder is the America, and other European countries are also involved in this. The purpose of giving the picture is that this smart agriculture itself has a very large market. So anybody can learn, seek, and apply in this field also for the agriculture land area in Indian perspective, because it is very unsaturated. It has not been saturated, and it has very large area for the students and those who are looking for the new careers. They can go for this and enhance and exploit this area and apply in the agriculture scenario of Indian conditions, because Indian conditions is much far wide and variable from the foreign country conditions, because here Rabi season, Zaid season, Kharif season, 3 kinds of seasons and 3 different vegetable crops, horticultural crops, food grain crops are always there. We can go for the potential areas of different states in which we can apply these smart agriculture approaches, and market is wide and open. Next slide, please. Transformative discoveries for smart agriculture. We can see here Internet of Things that can be embedded with technologies, software, sensors. Now 8.3 million Internet of Things got connected every day. We can Internet of Things in agriculture is like that: the diagnosis of disease, variable rate of technology, water stress can be analyzed, can be signaled, field monitoring, soil erosion is there or not, smart data like crop yield data, smart data like that how much leaf area canopy has been developed. It is good for the crop, it is bad for the crop, the leaf area is not expanding. And the leaf color chart is in later slide, which can determine the later part of the crop growth period, that nitrogen requirement is must or not. It can be delayed, or it cannot be required, because already the urea or the nitrogen fertilizers is so much applied that no need to give or apply extra urea, because urea is can be evaporated in the atmosphere, and the person thinks that I have applied, definitely it will be come back to plants. But that's why urea is given in split doses, not unlike DAP and the potash. They are given at the time of only field preparation, but urea is given in the split doses because it evaporates in the atmosphere. And that leaf color chart in later slide, we will to see that how nitrogen economy can be there, how much reduction in the urea application. And these are the Internet of Things. For example, you can see that the Plantix app. There are other apps which identify the disease by seeing we can identify when we scan the leaf that is damaged. They can give the little bit zinc deficiency is there, boron deficiency is there, or potassium deficiency is there, because the symptoms somewhat similar, but it gives a clear cut picture that what kind of symptoms is there, what is the disorder, and in the net and it gives you precaution measures. Next slide, please. Now you can see that today IoT has many use cases in agriculture, and the compound annual growth rate is almost 13.8%, and it can be used in drones, water management, automated irrigation, precision farming, livestock management, and soil management. Next slide, please. Artificial. Honorable Vice Chancellor sir has previously explained very nicely how artificial intelligence can be embedded and incorporated in our agriculture scenario. Still, still we can see that it is a science of instilling intelligence in machines so that they are capable of doing tasks at that traditionally required by the human mind. AI combines automation, robotics, and computer visions. Artificial intelligence is the combination and amalgamation of robotics, computer vision, which further gives very good clear-cut picture of what kind of nutrition is required, at what time it is taken, at what time it should be applied, or which time the irrigation should be there, and plant protection measures, what kind of disease can be there. In futuristic also, it gives the prevention measures, because prevention is better than cure. Why you should go for the every time chemical spray if we have that we can prevent this disease? How? If we change the conditions, if the hot and humid condition is there, if it is in the greenhouse, if there is a dryness in the field, when every time farmers cannot be on the field, there are other domestic works, but when it is connected with mobile, it gives the signal that water stress is there, definitely he will go and irrigate the field. Nutrient stress has been discovered, then it will go and spray micronutrient spray or fertilizer application. In real time, he is able to problems. So at the end of the day, he is able to reduce his cost. Otherwise, at the end of the day, if this technology was not helping him or her, then he was going to purchase that fungicide, pesticide, and other bioenhancers. But the signals, the advanced precursors to his mobile, to his network, he was able to nullify that stress problems. Next slide, please. Sir has previously mentioned that blockchain, and the blockchain, it is a very more transparent, authentic, and trustworthy digital. It is a digital record, and it cannot be changed by any person. So it gives the traceability of that produce, in which manner it has been brought up to the consumer by scanning the barcode. If any juncture, at any point, manhandling will be there, it can be traced. So it is a very foolproof and cannot be harmed. So in foreign countries, it is very much reliable. In India, it is also coming in different seed traceability is there. So what is the source of the seed? What is the source of the material? And it gives a very good certification, and the consumer can be rely on that. Next slide, please. And its application, 10 possible use cases of blockchain in agriculture. We can see that overseeing farm inventory, enhancing agricultural supply chains, modernizing farm management software, agriculture technology, IoT optimization, fair pricing, agriculture subsidies, oversight. These all can be traceable, and little bit tampering will be there. It can be signal to the all parties, so no one can you can say कोई चोरी नहीं कर सकता है, कोई किसी का कुछ लेके कहीं ले लिया ऐसा नहीं कर सकता है. It's a very foolproof. Greater accountability for multinationals, incentivization of sustainable and mobile limitation and small farmers also. For small farmers, it can be beneficial in that they are getting good quality of seed or not, because small farmers can have good quality of seed, then only they can produce very good produce and productivity and production, because from that only they can earn. If they did not get the good quality of seed material, planting material, then how will they get that yield? And the low yield will be there. Definitely they will on the other side of the losses. If there will be other side of the losses, then how can they trace that the seed quality was not good, from where it has been tempered? So this can be a very good, remarkable approach in these cases of agriculture. Next slide, please. Robotics. It is just an application of artificial intelligence, which includes drones and a spray of micronutrient solution, water soluble nutrient solution, pesticides spraying, insect fungicide spraying, and very less time, and it addresses the labor problem, because when you have to spray, labor has to be searched out, because field is large, one person cannot alone can spray all day, and these technologies can do 1 acre of field in just 5 to 10 minutes. So you can see the how much time reduce, how much conservation of time is there, and time is money. That's why these called technologies are so much costly, because nowadays the time is money, not money. Money currency is the currency, but real time is the money, the conservation of time, conservation of resources. Next slide, please. Autonomous swarms. Autonomous swarms is just like swarm robotics and blockchain. If we combine the blockchain technology and the multi-application of multiple drones at large field area, we term it as a autonomous swarms. And it does the same fertilizer application, water soluble micronutrient application, fungicide application. Next slide, please. IoT, Internet of Things, and this is the artificial intelligence of things, AIoT. AIoT is the combination of artificial intelligence and Internet of Things. Here you can see that the user terminal, the mobile like device is there. It is connected to tower and it scans fruits, vegetables. When it scans, it determines some spots, and it again that gives signal that the fruit is infected. But on the other hand, the fruit is very shiny, looks good, but it detects that the under spongy tissue is there, some tissue disorder is there, but from the upper side you cannot see, and there is no time that a farmer can cut and see every produce. It is not possible. But when it is exporting, and it is exporting to foreign countries or to other states, the quality of the produce is so much importance that it has some devices to check the pulp consistency, there should not be internal disorders, tissue disorders. So these devices can be of great use. So how it is used? It is the combination of artificial intelligence and Internet of Things. Because of that, they are able to analyze that this fruit is, though it is looking good, but it is not for consumption in the market. They can use it in home because it's, but in market it will degrade its image that the product from this kind, this farmer, the material is not so up to the mark. It can be roguing out of types or not non-uniform fruit size, not good quality, and keeping the uniformity in the quality storage. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. This now we come to the big data. Big data is that the smart sensing and monitoring. It is a cloud-based event and data management. No. Back slide. Back one. And it is the amalgamation of very large amount of data, which gives that user or farmer to enable him in decision making. Decision making in what? Decision making in irrigation, fertilizer application, fungicide, and deploy intercultural operations. When it is taking all the data like minute data, like in how many days 2 or 3 leaves developed, days to first flowering, when it comes, when the first fruit set was there, when the first harvesting was done, when the first fertilizer application was done from the date of sowing, when the first transplanting was done from the date of sowing. These small data creates large number of data set. When the large number of data set, it gives the crop a very good information which can predict its yield potential, or it can predict in a wholesale price also, because we know the crop cycle, when it is going to sow, when it is going to transplant, and when it is going to harvest. And if we keep small data, when it is taken, just now I have mentioned small observations, if it is taken, then the crop can be predicted for its yield production, disease pest infestation, because if large amount of data sets can be stored, then at what stage the disease infestation occurred, insect infestation occurred, what was the condition of that plant, it can predict you, and it can make you easy for decision making. And decision making is only possible by decision making tools, decision support system making tools. Some softwares are there, farmers in foreign countries they are able to use, but our farmers have not so much exposure. But in agriculture universities, those who are students doing PhD or MSc postgraduate research, they can go for that. There is a softwares like DSET 4.7, DSET 4.8, aqua crop in fruit crops, maize crop, wheat crop, on different aspects, irrigation potential, nutrient potential, at what nutrient the yield will be double or triple, different observations they can go for. And the research papers are mostly available in a very high impact factor journal. They can also go for the satellite imaging, remote sensor. Previously the sir has mentioned that they can include in this their PhD research, PG research, and it will be very good to their knowledge, also helping good in knowledge. And also remarkable paper can be made, and it is easily accepted in the high impact journals, easily. And it will be a new area of domain of research in agriculture in India. Most agriculture universities, and I think in every agriculture university, they are exploiting these technologies in their PhD research. And when the students are doing this research yearly and bi-yearly, two times research, they will get some exposure, they will get enhanced, and they can apply in the working area also, and as an entrepreneur can go for that. Next slide please.
Pavan sir, can you go to the next slide?
Smart agriculture practices for higher farm resource use efficiency. Next slide please. This is the machine which is used in seed sowing and planting. Here you can see that there is a one device which is connected for signal sensoring for planting seeds at correct depth, because shallow rooted vegetables, shallow rooted food crops cannot be dig deep and so deeply in the soil, because if they are shallow rooted, that means that the sowing depth should be shallow, not so deep. This is the machine which keeps in mind and take care of that the seed should not be sow very deeply. And the seed rate also can be seed rate is also maintained optimum. Next slide please. Precision in nutrient management. Nowadays nano fertilizers are very much in demand because they are very site specific and crop specific and very much area specific. It doesn't require to apply in the whole field area. It should be near to the crop growth region or their root region, root growing region only. In drought conditions also, there now hydrogel technology is also there. If there is drought, no need to worry. You can sow your crop. Hydrogel, like nanotechnology, it has been developed by BU Sabha, and it can be deeply sown near the growing root region of the crop, and it can survive to this full life cycle of that particular crop, vegetable, anything. And it has been tested successful. So these are the precision in nutrient management where we can reduce the fertilizer application by 50 to 25% and increase the production by 15 to 20%. And it also decrease the cost of fertilizer or input in the cost of production, which automatically increases the output of the crop and the price also, because the cost of cultivation is hereby reducing because the fertilizers are taken care of, fertilizer applied on site specific only, crop specific only, and it is not necessary to spread on the whole field. It is only applied on the particular crop growing area and their root region only. Next slide, please. Leaf color chart. Previously, I was mentioning that here you can see the farmer is matching the chart with the leaf of paddy field. He can now see that at that color, nitrogen application is required or not. If the last, you can see that it might be visible or not. Last part of the patch is very dark color. If dark green color matches with the leaf patch, leaf color of that particular crop, definitely no need for application. So it is in the mind that it has to be applied 2 times in split doses. It is not required because still in my region, farmers come. I first ask, they have done their soil health card, made their soil health card, because soil health card gives the crop specificity of their field area, what kind of crops they can be grown, and the nutrient status of the crop, nutrient status of the field. It is not necessarily that the field will be devoid of nutrients. It may be highly rich in sulfur, potassium, and manganese, may be deficient in nitrogen. In some other areas, it may be high in nitrogen, low in phosphorus. But when farmers can get this, then they automatically purchase the fertilizers according to the soil health card report. They don't need to purchase so much quantity of potassium if the potassium quantity is very adequate in their soil. This is also the method where fertilizers cost can be reduced. No need to apply second dose of urea or nitrogen if the color matches very adequate color of that leaf color chart, where it signifies that the no need of application of nitrogen and very less application of nitrogen. So this may increase or increase the output and decrease their cost of cultivation, and it is very much convenient to the marginal farmers also. It is very easy to understand, and it has revolutionized and make comfortable, and is very popular among the marginal farmers. It is very easy to understand. Next slide, please. This is the census normalized vegetation index, difference vegetation index. It is able to give the status of the vegetation, whether it is healthy or not, whether it should require fertilizer application or any kind of fungicide spray or any kind of pesticide spray. If leaf or it can give the precursor of the infestation period, if this kind of leaf is stressed or not, because disease occurs when the plant attain the stress condition, very extreme stress conditions. But these NDVI sensors can precautionary on preventive measures can give you a extra advantage whether the crop is in stress condition or not. And when you come to know, then you can irrigate the field, or you can apply the water soluble nutrients, micronutrients, whichever may be the deficient in the micronutrient condition. Or this sensor can save 12 to 15 to 20% of nitrogen, because every time nitrogen is not the factor. It may be manganese deficiency, it may be magnesium deficiency, it may be potassium deficiency, because the pattern of yellowing of leaves can be seen from these sensors, can be detected. Next slide, please. Nutrient expert. It is a nutrient decision support system. Likewise, I have said earlier that the software DSET, and that software there is a nutrient support, nutrient expert. It is a decision support system which provides fertilizer recommendations by considering yield responses and targeted agronomic efficiencies, along with contribution of nutrients from indigenous sources. It is still in research area only. It is very much difficult for the farmers to get interviewing or exposed to that. But these are the areas which students can go for the research, and it has given very remarkable results. And on the contrary, it has reduced the cost of cultivation also, because if we come to the across this technology, the fertilizers, normal days the farmers used to spray or apply fertilizer, chemical fertilizers on daily basis on their routine. And when it was done, it was very much drastic reduction of the fertilizers was there, and the crop yield was not affected. And it has been done by the collaboration with the CIMIT and the International Plant Nutrition Institute. Next slide, please. SPAD. It is a soil plant analysis development. It is simple, quick, and portable, just like leaf color chart. It can give you the reading, and that reading can suggest you that nitrogen top dressing is required or not, or any other fertilizer. And it also gives a chlorophyll meter, which gives that chlorophyll content is low or high, because in paddy and the wheat fields you can see that the chlorophyll is the most important factor. If chlorophyll is not in the leaf, definitely the later part of the stage the grains cannot be developed, because that crown that primary growth is not available. Then how the reproductive and flowers can be developed, and further grain can be developed if the leaves are not in good condition. So it is possible to monitor leaf nitrogen status, and using the SPAT threshold, fertilizer like nitrogen timing can be also decided. It is not that if we applied at this time, that it should be applied 1.5 months. It can be delayed, because the soil is porous, the nutrient content absorption was so high that it is not required that it has to be given only by now 45 days. It can go after 70 days also. And this will help in reducing the wastage of fertilizer application, because we know that via urea nitrogen is given, and urea is very much evaporizes in the atmosphere, so vanishes in the atmosphere. The farmer thinks that it has applied and the plants is getting, but if it is in good condition, why it will take from the soil? When it is in adequate, when it is not in adequate condition, when it is not adequately green, then only it requires nutrients from the soil. So there will be a wastage. And this will be a very good approach in application of nitrogen in rice fields and wheat fields. Next slide, please. This is another technique, urea deep placement, and it is given. This is just like nanotechnology. It is given in the 1 to 3 grams of briquettes like the block-like structure, uniform block-like structure. This slowly releases to the plant growing region and root growing region of that particular crop. And this technique reduces the nitrogen losses by 40 to 50%. and increases the urea efficiency by 50%, and increases yield percentage by 25%, and average 25% decrease in urea use, because we are not applying on the whole field. We are just keeping on the site specific crop growing area, crops root growing region, and it is very slowly released, so that it's a very slow process, and the plant absorption, which absorbs the nutrients, it is also a very slow process. So it it confirms the utility of the urea displacement. Next slide, please. Here we can see that there are web and mobile based services. Now the farmers connect farmers with relevant agricultural science and services. Where via internet they can go for the like laser leveler via software. The laser leveling is done by satellite imaging. Smartphones, the example of Plantix app, you can scan the leaf of the diseased part and stressed plant part, and it will give you that it is a diseased symptom or it is a disorder of any nutrient deficiency. And GSM mobile, you can get the weather updates, weather alerts, and it also be used in the consultancy services, because every time farmers cannot reach to the any institute or Krishi Vigyan Kendras and consultancy services. From the real-time field only, he can video call, WhatsApp the text, show the video to the scientist to the particular crop area, and take advisory suggestions. So web mobile-based services, interactive apps providing management guidelines, and invest wisely at start of the season. That crop manager can also use, of particular private farms. They are very much well equipped with the these mobile based services, because it is very much important, and it is very much a commercial farms, because it has to be taken in the profit manner. So losses can be very harmful, so it is very much utilized in the commercial farms. Next slide, please. Sensor-based controls, locally installed sensors to automatically adjust irrigation, timing to the exact temperature, rainfall, humidity, and soil moisture present in a given environment. Every time farmers is not available on the farm, it has to do some domestic work, it has to be somewhere out. The sensor-based control is very good, and likewise signal-based control also. Smart irrigation system rely on weather updates. If drought conditions there, automatically irrigation lines can be opened every time. It also addresses the labor problem also. Next slide, please. Efficient water management. Sir has previously mentioned that how micro irrigation has revolutionized our agriculture production system, and thanks to Israel, they come up with this technology, very smart and innovative technology, which reduces water wastage almost 60 to 70% and increases the yield almost 80 to 90%. Next slide, please. And this is the impact of national mission on micro irrigation by our government of India, which reduced the cost by 20 to 50% with an average of 32.3% reduction in cost, irrigation cost. Electricity consumption reduced by about 31%. It is on record data, but it is a project, National Mission on Micro Irrigation, and its studies suggest that the on adoption of micro irrigation, what are the impacts? 28% reduction in total fertilizer consumption in the surveyed states. Average productivity of fruits and vegetables increased by about 42.3% and 52.8%. And overall income enhancement for farmers was in the range of 20% to 68%, with an average of 48.5%. Next slide, please. Weed and pest management practices. Nowadays, new generation herbicides Herbicide resistant crops are also come up, and for example, you can go for that tembotrium in maize and pyrazosulfuron ethyl application in paddy crop, and clodinatop and metasulfuron methyl in wheat. They did not affect the crop. They are specifically for the weeds only. And herbicide resistant crop, those are genetically modified crop engineered to resist specific broad spectrum weedicide like glyphosate, and it has been developed in crops like maize, soybean, and cotton. Next slide, please. Resource conservation practices like laser and leveling, it almost save the 20 to 25% of irrigation water, because if the land of the particular crop field area is undulated or not uniform, the water wastage, the water coverage area, irrigation coverage area for the particular crop takes more time. It is not adequate to the all corners of the field. If laser land leveler used and it is leveled, then the production of the particular crop, the irrigation, the intercultural operations all get enhanced, and the better utility of nutrients come to the crop and its growing region, and the enhancement leads to the better crop productivity and yield. Next slide, please. These are the technologies like organic farming, conservation agriculture, integrated farming system, crop diversification. These are also very innovative, novel, and smart approaches for marginal farmers. Marginal farmers are not have very great land holding. They are very small land holding. So they can go for the organic farming, conservation agriculture, but organic farming in staggered manner. Do not go directly organic farm. Conservation agriculture, in which resources should be conserved. Crop diversification, which also gives the soil strata very good enrichment of biome. Don't go solo cropping. Don't repeat same crop year by year. Otherwise, the disease infestation will, in later part of the season, destroy whole crop. That's why crop diversification will be is required, because some crops have monophagous pest. If the same crop is cultivated on the same land by the year bound year, then the life cycle of the pest get enhanced. The generation also and population of that particular pest goes in very good number, and it feeds on that particular crop. If the crop diversification is done, then the pest of that particular crop cannot be feed on that particular, because it is a monophagous pest. It feeds on that particular crop. In next season, that crop will not be available. Then the pest will not be available for that particular crop. Then it will starve and it will die. In that, this is a very non-chemical method of controlling the damage of the pest. And the integrated approach farming system that you should implement vermicompost, farm compost, poultry manuring, cow dung, and least use of chemical fertilizers. But at the initial stages, it should be in staggered manner. Go for in 10% organic, 90% chemical. In next season, 15% organic, 85%. And that in this manner, the whole soil strata biome will be enriched with very good number of good microorganisms, which will enhance the absorbability of the nutrient status of that particular field to crop, which will enhance the productivity and production, and it will enhance the organic carbon of the soil. Next slide, please. This is the illustration of smart agriculture, PDCA cycle and cloud services in agriculture. Next slide, please. PDCA. PDCA means plan, do, check, act. First, we have to plan what we are going to cultivate in the future, in the coming seasons. What are the approaches if disease will come? What are the approaches irrigation for the irrigation? What are the approaches for interculture operations? Then work accordingly on that particular field. What kind of gadgets, what kind of sensors required? Then check that instruments are in good condition. They are giving good readings or not, and accordingly act. Plan modification accordingly real time. It doesn't mean that today is the irrigation day. If rainfall has occurred, no need to irrigate. It has to be irrigated 10 days after from this day. But from the incoming 4 days, very harsh suns, very direct sunlight, very high temperatures there. It has to be irrigation. It has to be give irrigation on the 5th day. It should be changing. It should change accordingly real time situation. And when you collect those data, accordingly farm manager will check their data and they will analyze and see the visualization. What are the conditions? What were the symptoms have been found? What are the reasons? These are the cloud computing, because all these things are connected to a particular master computer. Gadgets and sensor collect that data, give visualization to that particular on graphic basis, and via that visualization and a picture, they come to know that when irrigation is required, this is the color, this is the path. When disease infestation shows, then this is the reading, this is the status of the reading, this is the reading goes down. When disease infestation is unified, the reading goes up. It may be a vegetation reading, a nitrogen status reading, anything. So this is the PDCA cycle that we have to plan, do the activities, work correct results, and then check results of patrolling status of pilot project. That it is a research project. In smart agriculture, it has to be followed like this. When it is involved or incorporated or embedded with gadgets and sensors, then this is the criteria to do the things step in a simultaneous manner. Next slide, please. IT mechanisms, also information technology mechanisms, also supports agriculture operation. How? We will see in this picture. Next slide. You can see the input. It has been circular, and when the input is there, then the storage, different kinds of sensors gives the data, image data, sensor data, work history, and the collected data. Now it gives that the data has been stored. Now it gives the visualization, work, irrigation, cultivation, crop foliage, and other graphics, yield output, so how it has been here. It gives you yearly data, yearly history of that particular field, and which gives analysis in correlated way. How it is in correlated way? It gives you an idea when ideal conditions are there. If at the right time, soil application, nitrogen application, fertilizer application, insecticide application, everything was idle. Everything was given at right time, right place. What can be the yield? What can be the maximum yield potential? This will give you. Then you can change it. How you can change it? You can say that the rainfall inadequate rainfall. You can show 10% down in the rainfall. Then you can see how the data goes, how the yield reduction takes place. This is the data of taking 3 years, 4 years, and the weighted data of last 30 years, 40 years of particular area. it is endemic to the particular region. That IT mechanism, it gives you everything: crop data, field data, crop management data, and weather data. That weather data of that particular place makes it endemic for that particular place. You cannot grow Alfonso mango from Ratnagiri district, Sinuri district to do well in the Bihar North region, because the weather strata of that particular area, humidity, relative humidity, air temperature is very much different from this side of the north eastern side of the India. Though people bought it, grow, but the taste, flavor get affected, because that climatological factor, that agrometeorological factor affects the genotype of that fruit. And you have studied also that environment and genotype interaction gives a particular correlation in the yield potential of that particular crop or any species. So this is the method where IT mechanism has a very good role, but it has to be taken in the mind that it is very endemic. It is location specific only, because in you can see that for example, if it is raining here, in 5 kilometers away there is no raining there. So that's why the weather data makes it very tricky, and it is very site specific and the location specific data, which gives you very good management of your crop field area, crop, and it can predict in very good way that how it is going in coming season, because on weather parameters you can able to predict that this time monsoon is good, winter is going to be harsh, winter is going to be mild. Accordingly you can plan your crop. Next slide please. And these are the list of different smart agriculture practices. Like artificial intelligence, I was suggesting that Plantix. And in blockchain, Kisan Suvidha is there. Internet of Things, Pusa Krishi app is there. GIS expert system, GPS decision support system, smart fertilizers, M Kisan portal. Smart fertilizers, M Kisan portal. M Kisan portal is using smart fertilizer technology. Sensors, websites are there. Different websites are there, which gives you sensors. Plant doctor is using AIoT and big data. Robots, drones, swans. Urea deep placement, it is a conservation agriculture practice. Soil moisture pH meter is used in the multi-layer farming. Spad meter, it is also used in hydroponics, because leafy vegetables like lettuce, spinach, they are very beneficial and very economical in hydroponics. But their economical part is leaf. If leaf condition and leaf appearance is not good, they will not fetch price. In that case, SPAD meter is very much important. Kisan Raja motor controller, it is a vertical farming. It can be used there. And IFS and raised bed planting, deep thunder. Next slide, please. And those were the list of smart agriculture practices. Smart agriculture practices which are used in India. Pressurized irrigation, smart irrigation, that micro irrigation, soil moisture pH meter, leaf color chart, very much popular. Smart fertilizers, breed sampling, pneumatic planters, smart agronomic approaches like the interculture operations that I have previously mentioned, that crop specific nano fertilizer, use of nano fertilizers like that. Mulching. Next slide, please. This is the picture, gives you very much understanding of smart agriculture and where we are. You can see in past, this is the past where only machinery and GPS tracking was used, and plow, GMO, and the 19th century, what was the technologies has been taken place from the ancestral point long centuries back to till 2008. And 2008 year we can consider it is a past, because it is almost a decade back. more than a decade back. At present, farmer is confused because the data is so huge, so much gadgets, so much sensors are there. The farmer is confused what kind of data and how can I utilize this data and how it will be beneficial for me. But future is that these data can be used strategically, smartly, and we have to give exposure to farmers and in a educate them in a better way and make it literate for technologies for that. It should require very pardon this. It should require a very good sessions for the farmers to they get elevated with these technologies, and you can see that the data inside it can give you livestock production technology on if data is used precisely in a more better approach, then it will give you site specific management in crop. It can give you website weather auto station weather prediction studies, which will provide better yield production and productivity to that particular farmer if he uses very efficiently that technology. But nowadays the farmers are overwhelmed by data, and there is no such anything that they can guide approach to guide the farmers and to use the data in a better way, and that kind of services and the training programs should be provided to the farmers. Next slide please. Next slide.
Divya ma'am is there.
Yes, sir.
I think power network has lost. So please you continue to that PPT.
Yes, sir. So just wait for 2 minutes. I'll share.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Asutosh sir. Your lecture is going very impressive, and
Thank you.
even the person is enjoying in a best manner. That's why I have kept your lecture in the second half, so you will get more time to explain all these things.
Yeah, thank you so much. And it's a very tricky topic because sir has
Yeah,
also gone through that topic. It has to be, and in very less time we have to cover all those things. It's a very uh, difficult task because each topic can be go for long hours for discussion because
yeah, yeah,
still there are so much doubts and so much misunderstandings among about these topics.
yeah, sir. Sure, sir.
Yeah. And this is the slide I have prepared because in smart agriculture you have also mentioned that the satellite monitoring. You can see that the examples of satellites used for precision agriculture and their application. Likewise, satellites are there: EcoStress, TerraAster, Sentinel-1A, Sentinel-2, ComSat, RapidEye, GeoEye, and their these are the satellites, and their sensors for the particular parameters are evapotranspiration, water management, soil moisture, crop management, crop yield. ComSat 2 and Aqua Modis are both are for crop yield. Crop yield and soil water can be detected by the satellite monitoring by RapidEye, GeoEye-1, nutrient management. So the technology has gone beyond the space, and they give real data, real information with no error, with no error. Next slide, please. And these are the platforms. These are the platforms. Those are these are the platforms. Those IoT platforms which can be used and are in use yeah. Next slide. Used in agriculture, and they are for the different taking readings of the parameters like evapotranspiration, soil moisture conditions, and nutrient status. Next slide, please. Sir has also mentioned the topic of greenhouse technology. This is also innovation. But in smart agriculture, you can see that the actuators is also separately mentioned, and the sensors. Sensors, you know, that there are parameters which can detect and can be read and measured. Actuators are the things, it is the mechanism that is put in something which is automatic. That's why they are called actuators, like heaters, valves, pumps, vents, sprinklers. They are in automatic condition. And smart greenhouse, these things are very much needed because nobody knows when the temperature will go rise, very high temperature in the greenhouse, and high temperature will be there, the flower drop will be occur, so foggers will be play in role in irrigating and lowering down the temperature. If humid condition is so much high, then vents will be open to get air ventilated, which will reduce the disease infestation and pest infestation conditions nullified. Sprinklers, when irrigation is required, automatically sprinklers open. And the sensors, it has to be there for carbon dioxide, soil, light intensity, pH, and temperature. They keep in reading at the system of, on the other hand, of the particular farmer or entrepreneur, which gives him very good monitoring of that particular crop, because in this smart greenhouse or any greenhouse, cash crops are there, like seedless cucumber, colored capsicums. These are the most important cash crops. Next slide, please. Benefits of smart agriculture. Sorry. Here we can see improved monitoring and securing. No, one slide is missing, I think. Previous slide. Okay, now it's good. Next slide. This benefits. We can see that in benefits of smart agriculture. What is that? We can boost harvest. We can harvest much more. Fertilizer consumption is less. This is the most important thing, and it is the contributing part of input cost is more than 20%. If the fertilizer consumption and use can be reduced, automatically the cost of cultivation reduced, and the farmers can gain advantage on that. And it is more sustainable. Sustainable in the sense they are using resources, and resource allocation is in sustainable manner, in a uniform manner. So improve monitoring and scouting and control, accurate data collection. Data collection should be accurate, and precise analytics of prompt robotics. And this is the overuse improved technologies. But the main point is that the harvest can be boosted, more harvesting of produce can be promoted, can be exploited, and the less use of fertilizers and sustainable in nature. An increase in yield and quality and quantity. Quality is the most important thing. For that, the farmers purchase good price and better price. Next slide, please. And now we can see these are the importance, why importance of smart agriculture is there. These are the technologies were there. They can enhance the boost the crop production, reduce the pest infestation, disease infestation, and increase the interculture operations very smartly, and increase the soil microbiome, which enhance the nutrient status of the crop and the soil both. But challenges is always there. If challenges were not there, then definitely we were not discussing this smart agriculture. The challenges is that What are the challenges? We can see here high setup and maintenance cost, because if you are using sensors, gadgets, it has to be dust free, it has to be cleaned up, flight time and limitation and coverage. If large area is there, then the cost will be higher, and every data cannot be stored. Weather dependency and climate dependency, because some crops are rain fed. If rainfall is not taking place accordingly, the crop will not perform. This is the limitation. Laws and regulatory laws and regulations. As you can use drones in the field, but you have to take prior permission from the administration. You have to particularly trained license. You have to have a license of drawing or uh, taking a drone application. Without license, you cannot take drone in the field. So these are the laws we have to take in mind. This is the limitation. Fragmented land holding is another factor which is not so good, because this is the innovative approach of mechanized agriculture. And you all know, in studying, most of them are students also, that mechanized agriculture is very much beneficial in large land holding. Small land holding, it will increase the cost. It will not be feasible. Though it is look good, but the cost will be go higher, and it will not be of good use. Land holding is limited. It can be work only when the cooperative way, when the farmers come together with small land holdings, large number of farmers come together, then only it will prove beneficial. And complete dependency on data and electricity. This is the most important limitation, because if you have data, then only you will be able to see the crops condition and its progress. If data is not there, how can you suggest that, oh, this is the time for nutrient application, this is the time for irrigation, this is the time for fungicide spray? Because if you have large coverage area of the crop, of particular crop, you can't go and see in each and every spot and location. This is the limitation, and need expertise handling, because every person can do this. Skillful person required this kind of approaches, and it has to be in excel in taking the uh, activities in digital agriculture. Then only he will be able to understand the graphics and data and visualizations of that particular parameter of the particular crop in that particular field area. So these are the challenges of smart agriculture, but it can be unified by proper training, proper consultation. It can be unified, but it requires skillful person. Next slide, please. And now we come to the conclusion that that precision or smart farming allows farmers to use crop inputs more efficiently, including fertilizer, pesticide, tillage, and irrigation water, brings sustainability in crop production. It's a proven technology in improving crop yield and the open condition. In Indian agriculture scenario, there is an enormous potential for employing precision techniques, smart agriculture techniques, and generate discontinuous data, and the same can be used to increase the returns. More effective use of inputs can be used, so crop yield and quality without polluting the environment. And it is a need-based application system for precision farming or smart farming can be practiced. And subcomponents of precision farming or smart farming techniques with a smaller data volume are employed in vegetable and controlled conditions. Controlled conditions like in greenhouse, also we can use smart agriculture approaches, because the digital, it is a, we can say that it is smart agriculture or it's a next generation digital agriculture. Next slide, please. Okay. If anybody have doubt, we can discuss.